Picture this. At age 15, you sell your second video game. And the royalties of this game put you through college. And at age 21, you apply for a job at a company called Oracle. There, you become the youngest vice president at age 26. There you keep working for a few more years until 30 you feel something missing. So you take a 6 months sabbatical leave and go to India. There you meet your spiritual teacher and he teaches you about meditation and life. And these aspects of you create ripple effects that will change your trajectory of your life forever. So you come back, do a couple more years at Oracle, but then you start your first company. Do you know who I'm talking about? In today's video, we're going to break down Salesforce and Marc Benioff. All right, let's dive into Salesforce. First, we have a snapshot of the business and the CEO. Let's go. Salesforce is one of the largest enterprise platforms in the world, powering millions of business globally, with nearly $38 billion in annual revenue and a consistent double-digit cloud growth. But behind that scale is a founder whose vision and activism still anchor the system. Marc Benioff did not come from startups. He came from Oracle and enterprise sales. His wiring is bold, visionary, and value-driven. From the beginning, his goal wasn't just to sell software. It was to end software as we knew it and prove that business can also improve society. This is something we've seen all through his business, and his time in India influenced this. Over the years, Benioff had led Salesforce through rapid SaaS growth, mega acquisitions, Slack, Tableau, MuleSoft, cultural battles, and activist investor pressure. He has always returned to one core message: trust, customer success, innovation, and equality. But here's the catch. That same vision without succession, discipline, and integration clarity creates drag. And that is exactly where Salesforce sits today. This snapshot shows where Benioff's core pattern is driving alignment and where it's bleeding. Succession, system integration, and execution scalability. Let's go deeper. Right, how we do this. The way we map business or do this scan, we find all public information we can get our hand on. And we go through it and find patterns in the founder and CEO, what they say and what to do. Then we take those aspects, those recurring patterns we call loops, and we structure this onto our own framework we call the business alignment pyramid. These have 10 core layers that all businesses have, and we map friction onto it. But first, let's go through the layers. At the first top 2 layers, we have vision and creative spark. That is the business purpose. You can say the business why. The next 4 layers are systems and structure, boundaries and enforcement, generosity and expansion, and brand and identity. That's the strategy. That's the heart of the business. And the last 4 layers, we have execution and momentum, feedback and refinement, transmission and continuity, and delivery. That is, the delivery is what gets delivered to the market. And that is part of execution, the legs. On the right, we have this legend here. A light green means no friction, means this is optimal. And at the bottom, we have a red, that is a 5. That means maximum friction. This is not optimal. And in between, we have 4, which is an orange. We have a yellow, which is a 3. And we have a darker green, which is a 2. So the patterns we find, we map on to here to create friction point to easily identify where the business have its strength and where it has its friction. So now we're going to dive into today's business. Our scan revealed this about Salesforce. The top 2 layers, the purpose layers, Vision, Creative Spark, is clean, very low friction. The next layer, we have some friction. We have system and structure has 3, which is moderate friction. Boundaries and enforcement, moderate friction. Generosity and brand is very little friction. At the last 4 layers, at execution layers, we have execution momentum is very little friction. Moderate friction on feedback and refinement. We have high friction on transmission and continuity. And we have moderate friction on delivery. Let's go deeper and see why. Here we have the purpose layers, and we're going to show exactly why we rated this green. Top of the pyramid, we have vision. That is a 2, low friction. Benioff, no software. Cloud first CRM and stakeholder capitalism. Vision is clear and industry defining. Friction only arises when social activism must be turned into scalable system design. Next one is Creative Spark. That is also 2, low friction. Salesforce drive category defining launches. Data Cloud, Einstein AI, MuleSoft, App Exchange. Benioff's direct role in vision setting keeps the creative edge sharp through rapid launches, test, integration, capacity. These are the strategy layers, which is the next 4 on the pyramid. Let's go through them. 3, systems and structure. 3, moderate friction. Salesforce core platform can handle large launches, but integration of acquisition, Slack, Tableau, MuleSoft, and regulatory compliance create friction. Each new product adds complexity and coordination challenges across teams. 4, boundaries and enforcement. 3, moderate friction. Compliance, data protection, and regulatory oversight are constant hurdles. These add operational overhead and can delay execution, especially in global rollouts. 5, generosity and expansion. That is a 2, low friction. Here's why. The 1-1-1 philanthropy model is a global benchmark and fuel expansion and credibility. If you're not familiar to the 1-1 model, that is, Salesforce give away 1% of their system to non-profit organization, 1% of equity, and 1% of their time, so all employees' time, to charity. So they have donated millions over the years. The risk here is overextension in too many product categories dilutes focus. Layer 6, brand and identity. 2, low friction. Salesforce global brand is strong, trusted, and associated with customer success. Challenges appears with pricing transparency and public scrutiny, but overall identity is well protected. And the final four layers is the execution layers. And we see some friction here. Let's go through it. 7. Execution and momentum. That is too low friction. Salesforce maintain a strong sales execution and global momentum. The flywheel of new feature plus enterprise adaptation keeps growth steady. Through market saturation is a watch point. Feedback and refinement. 3. Moderate friction. Customer feedback loops are active and structured, but integration gaps, slacks, tableau are slow refinements. The scale operation makes a rapid iteration harder. 9. Transmission and continuity. This is a 4. High friction. This is the highest one for Salesforce. Succession planning and leadership continuity remain unsolved risk. Salesforce is still seen as Benioff dependent, which could disrupt stability if transitions aren't smooth. So this is the highest friction for Salesforce. And 10, delivery. 3, moderate friction. Delivery is generally reliable across cloud services. Friction shows up in inconsistency of experience across products and integration of heavy deployments. That's the last layer. We discovered several loops in Mark's pattern and behavior, but we chose to focus on the two most critical ones, the ones that keep surfacing through Salesforce history. And these are the loops, the two most critical ones. Loop number one, vision integration overload. Reoccurring pattern. Benioff drive a large acquisition, Slack, Tableau, MuleSoft, before core systems are fully prepared. The trigger. Deals close quickly, but integration capacity lags. This affects the system, the pyramid. This loop repeats in systems and structure, execution and momentum, and delivery, creating complexity, drag, and slowing productivity plus ROI from M&A. Second loop, founder succession stall, reoccurring pattern. Benioff experiment with co-CEOs but reverts, keeping leadership centralized. Trigger. Scaling needs trigger delegation attempts, but trust gap and control tendencies pull authority back to himself. System effect. This loop shows up in boundaries and enforcement and transmission and continuity, leaving Salesforce overly dependent on Benioff and exposing long term stability. These loops has a cost but also gain. So we're gonna break this down to see what they actually cost in the business right now. So let's dive in. Loop number one, vision integration overload, fueled by Benioff habit of closing major acquisition faster than the organization can absorb them. Current cost, delayed ROI on Slack, Tableau, MuleSoft, 500 to $1 billion annual drag. Product overlap creates sales complexity and slower customer adaptation. Engineering bandwidth stretch across too many integration. If they resolve this, we will see this faster synergy capture from M&A, simplified product roadmap, easier upsell, faster deployment, and a more predictable revenue lift from acquisitions. Estimated impact 3 to 5% revenue acceleration, that is 1 to 1.5 billion a year. 150 to 200 BPS margin improvement from reduced overlap. So that is loop number one. Let's dive into loop number two, cost versus gain. Loop number two, founder succession stall. Driven by repeated collapse of co-CEO models and founder centralization. The current cause of this, the leadership bottleneck slows decision making. Weak succession planning hurts investors' confidence, limits ability to scale leadership globally. If they resolve this, succession framework restore continuity confidence, distribute leadership faster execution plus local autonomy, higher resilience during transition, estimated impact 5 to 7% valuation uplift from reduced key man risk. That is 15 to 20 billion in market cap. Execution stability sustained, protecting a 40 billion plus revenue trajectory. Let's dive into Marc's strengths then. Strength as leverage, apply, reduce friction, visionary leadership. Benioff's clear and consistent vision helps align the entire organization, ensure that leadership transitions are smooth and that company core values and mission are preserved. This reduces the risk of disruption and helps maintain stability. Leverage, use Benioff's strong narrative to communicate the vision clearly during leadership changes. Effects, ensures continuity, boost investor confidence, and maintain organization stability. 2. Commitment to innovation. Marc's dedication to innovation ensures that Salesforce systems and structure are constantly evolving. This reduces friction by anticipating needs and streamlining processes before they become bottlenecks. Leverage. Utilize Benioff's forward-thinking approach to drive system upgrades and integration proactively. Effects. Enhances efficiency, reduces integration delays, and keep systems agile. Let's quantify this impact. Cost today versus potential gain if loop is resolved. The current cost, according to our estimation, is this: $500 to $1 billion drag from integration efficiency, Slack, Tableau, MuleSoft, not fully harmonized. Slower, slower synergy capture, margin exposed. Slower synergy capture, margin expansion delayed by 200 to 300 BPS. Succession uncertainty, elevated key man risk, dampening investor confidence and valuation. Execution bottlenecks, slower rollouts, AI data cloud adaptation, if resolved. Execution gains speed, product integration accelerate, upsell simplify. Customer adaptation accelerates with a unified product roadmap. Leadership continuity restored, reducing dependency on founder presence. Investor confidence strengthening, uplifting long-term valuation multiplies. So at the bottom here, we have a little breakdown again. Estimated annual gain 1 to 2 billion, faster revenue realization from acquisition. 150 to 200 BPS operating margin improvement. 5 to 7% valuation uplift. 15 to 20 billion market cap upside. Improve customer clarity and retention, driver multi-cloud adaptation. And on the left here, you can see the current pyramid, the alignment pyramid with the friction point. And if these changes are applied, we expect to see still some friction in the transmission and continuity, but otherwise ones and twos all the way through. Let's have a summary then. Salesforce is visionary, but hidden drag, integration, and succession is bleeding efficiency and stability. Friction isn't random, it's loop driven and fixable. Vision integration overload plus founder succession stall. The cost is clear: 500 to 1 billion annual drag plus reduce investor confidence. 2 founder control levers: discipline, integration plus succession framework can reset the cycle. There we have it, Salesforce breakdown. When I was studying Salesforce and Marc Benioff, it's fascinating his ideas on a one-on-one philanthropy model to give back to himself, his business, and in his employees. Give the time to give back is definitely a motivating and inspiring concept. So friction here is finding a leader, a visionary leader like him taking his place. So here, reflect on yourself. Where do you take too much leadership in your business, leaving your company founder dependent? So here I invite you to reflect, to see, do these loops reoccur in your own business? Or better yet, if you don't know and if you want to know, book a meeting with me and I will show you. You will get this map that you saw from Salesforce, and we can map your own business and show you where your loops reoccur, where in this pyramid friction lies within your business. And as always, you will get it within 48 hours. So take action. If you found this helpful, please comment. We love feedback. Feedback is a big part of improving all systems. So I want to say thanks so much for sitting here to the end. And next video, we are going to break down another exciting company and see the strength, the friction points, and I will see you there. Bye-bye.